So let us start off with our number 5 on this list, Spray Park, Germany. So let me take you back to 1996 when the socialist government of East Germany created Kulturpark Planterwald. The park was open for, well, about 20 years, until the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. In 1991, the park was taken over by the controversial figure Norbert Witte. It was then renamed to Spray Park. A new set of rides were installed and asphalt was replaced by a natural landscape. The park scene was often changed. The reason the park owner was quite controversial is he became involved in cocaine trafficking. The contraband was hidden in pieces of ride equipment which were shipped from Peru to Germany. Talking about a bad idea. In 2002, the park has been shut down and the owner was charged with his criminal offenses later. Unfortunately, in 2014, some features were destroyed by arson. After the damages, the abandoned park needed more security staff and even had dogs to prevent criminals from harming Spray Park. 2 years later, the park was taken over by a company owned by the city of Berlin. They had plans to change the site into a hotspot for arts and culture. In May 2019, many of the main attractions were removed, except for the Ferris wheel, restaurant and roller coaster, the cinema English Village and the rock of the Grand Canyon water ride. Coming in at number 4, Colemans Cup Namibia. Colemans Cup used to be a small railway station between Luderitz and Cape Manshope. In 1908 there was a railway worker named Zacharias Lawale and he found a strange looking stone along the tracks. His chief, who was also a mineralogist, had the stone examined and the stone appeared to be a real diamond. The story didn't stay a secret as many diamond seekers came to Colemans Cup searching for fortune. Within a short period, huge developments started to happen, and within 5 years, Colemans Cup became the richest town in Africa. In 1911, the town was way before its time. It had a casino, school, ice factory, stone houses, and much more. The diamond extraction came to an end, as by 1914, its production was almost zero. It is believed that Colemans Cup's last inhabitant left the town before the end of 1960. Number 3. Bodhi USA. Bodhi is a genuine gold mining ghost town. It's located east of Sierra Nevada mountain range in Mana County, California. 4 people discovered gold in a valley located north of Mana Lake. One of them was called W.S. Bodhi. He later died by a blizzard while making a supply trip to Manaville. Unfortunately, after he passed, he never could see the rise of the town that was called after him. In 1876, the Standard Mining Company found a great deposit of gold-bearing ore. This transformed Bodhi from an isolated mining site to a booming Wild West town. In 1879, Bodhi had between 7,000 and 10,000 people, and approximately 2,000 buildings. Some even say that in 1880, Bodhi was the 3rd largest town in the US. At some point, Bodhi had a bank, fire companies, and different unions for railroad mechanics and miners. Bodhi's main street had about 65 saloons, and things as barroom brawls and shootouts were nothing strange to the town. The first sign of decline happened around 1880 when some miners started to move to other booming mining areas. In 1910, Bodhi had about 698 people still living there, which were mostly families who decided to stay. The Standard Consolidated Mine closed down in 1913, and the year after, mining profits were less than $7,000. During the Second World War, the last mine in Bodhi got closed, and by 1950, the town was totally abandoned. Anyone that visits Bodhi now gets the feeling of traveling back in time, as the town is one of the most well preserved. Moving to the top of the list, number 2, Hashima Island, Japan. So Hashima Island, or Gunkanjima Island, is a place of many untold stories. It all started when coal was discovered on the island around 1810. Mitsubishi bought the island in 1890 in order to extract coal from its mines. In 1891, the mining began, and until 1974, about 15.7 million tons of coal were excavated. In 1916, Mitsubishi built Japan's first concrete 7-floor apartment building. After that, more buildings were constructed, such as a school, hospital, town hall, and a community center. For leisure, there was a cinema, short bath, swimming pool, rooftop gardens, and shops. From 1960, oil started to replace coal, and coal mines began shutting down all around Japan. Hashima was no bit different, as in January 1974, the mine officially shut down. The people who lived on Hashima had about 3 months to leave the island. For 3 decades, the island was abandoned and closed for visitors. In 2005, it was allowed for journalists to enter the island again. And from 2009 until now, a small part of the island was reopened for tourists. Most of us are probably wondering what happens on Hashima when no one is around. And today's winner, number 1, Pripyat, Ukraine. Pripyat is a ghost town in northern Ukraine. The city is named after the close-by river, the Pripyat. The town was founded in February 4, 1970. Both employees of Chernobyl and constructors of the city lived in Pripyat. In 1979, Pripyat was officially declared as a city, and in 1985, it had about 49,000 citizens. Pripyat had 25 stores and malls, 15 primary schools, a large hospital, parks, cinemas, you name it. Pripyat had about everything a community needs. As most of you will probably know, on 26 April 1986, the Chernobyl power plant ran a test which eventually caused reactor 4 to explode. This led to dangerous amounts of radioactive chemicals that got released into the air. The majority of people in Pripyat didn't know this has happened at the time. During the morning of April 27th, the first buses finally arrived for evacuation. People were told to only take their necessary items, as they were to be evacuated only for 3 days. Most people's belongings were left and remain there today. In 1988, construction of Slavitic was finished. This place served as a replacement for Pripyat. Nowadays, when you visit Pripyat, you can still find the Soviet propaganda on the walls, personal belongings on the streets, and in abandoned buildings. All clocks in Pripyat are frozen at 11:55, the exact moment the electricity was cut. The strange thing is that after all humans left Pripyat, the animals actually returned to it. Population of boar and deer started to roam Pripyat again. Despite the high levels of radiation, the animals aren't showing any signs of mutations. Nowadays you can take a tour in Pripyat. Many buildings are crumbling down, so most tour operators won't let visitors inside all abandoned buildings. Every tour ends with going through a radiation scan. Now it seems nature is reclaiming Pripyat, as the city is being overgrown by plants completely. That was all for today. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. If there's any list you would like to see on this channel, share it with us, and we will see you next time.